Men today are more, they're weaker than men of our days, right? They're softer,
100%, yeah.
mommy's boy, like beta boys, right?
Yeah.
The guys that are coming in, do they already have the mindset of being tough, or do you have to teach them to be tough?
No, the mindset is there. You have it or you don't have it. But the fake guys have it. They see it on TV. They're good in bar fighting, and everybody tells them they're going to be the next champion. They come in, and they get demolished, by kids.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't know, my first ground fighting class, and I was a badass striker at the time. I mean, I knocked a lot of people out, everybody. All in the first round, I was just destroying people, and then I went to submissions. Well, I remember I had to park my car next to the road coming back from Amsterdam to my town because I live in the south. I couldn't move. I called my wife I saw one of these big old cell phones they just came out. I said, I'm sleeping in the car. I came completely crushed. They schooled me. And when the next day I came home, she was laughing. And she goes, so that's it for your free fighting? Because that's what they called it at the time. I go, no, that's not it. I said, within 6 months, I'm going to tap all these guys. You watch. And I did.
Right. That's amazing.
Yeah, but it's just somebody asked me about how do the submission games, just as somebody on Twitter. I say, you have to fall in love with it.
Yeah.
Because if you fall in love with something, you become obsessed about it and you want to do it all day long. And once you do something all day long, there's no other way. You're becoming good, So I'm always blown away. I know some fighters who hate training. I go, dude, that's a tough job then. I would look forward to go to train. Almost couldn't sleep, so excited. 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm gonna try out my new submissions. I would love it, So that's why it was so hard for me to step away.
Yeah.
Not particularly for the fighting, but for the training. I always enjoyed the workout so much.
Right on. Do you believe your talent was a gift from God?
Oh yeah, everything is a gift from God. I'm 100%. Yeah, no, I'm a big believer in that.
At one time you.
But you have to recognize what it is, and you have to go with that. It's like the book The Alchemist, by Paulo Coelho. It's one of my favorite books. I read it like 7 times, 8 times, but every time you find something new. It's a book that's translated in. Next to the Bible, the most translated book on the planet. Over 70 million copies. I mean, something is going on with the book.
What's the name of it again?
The Alchemist by
okay.
Paulo Coelho.
Yeah.
I mean, you will see every famous person, so I figured I'd read it too. And it's a book about a sheep herder who goes look for his personal legend. But the way they explain it, you fit on the way omens. And the omens are things that you have to recognize. A certain person that you meet in life, you meet that person for a reason. God set that up. If you just wipe it off, maybe you missed a big chance right now. But if you invest, you see, and that's how and that book teaches you that by reading a normal story. It's like really amazing how the writer did that. And that really changed me also, because now you start looking for these omens.
Absolutely. I totally understand that. I asked that because I think I read that you were an atheist or something.
No, I'm a devout Catholic.
You always a Catholic?
I've always been a Catholic, but I came back 5 years ago.
So you left that religion or something?
Yeah, my parents didn't, at 12 they stopped going to church because they said, we don't do it on the weekends anymore. Now we do it on the Christmas, it's a charade, we're not going to do it anymore. So I was always the same as other people, you say the same stupid stuff that you know what the priest to do, blah, blah, but, once you get invested in it and you learn the truth, there is no other way.
Yeah.
Listen, people freak out when they hear, I spend an hour and a half, 2 hours a day on it. I go daily mass. I wake up in the mornings an hour and a half. It starts with that. But I do stretching in between while I'm doing prayers, while I'm doing things. It just completely changed me. I'm just a much better. My wife loves me much better. Kid, it's because I became so much more calm.
I was going to ask you about that. You seem pretty tense. Well, you don't necessarily seem tense, but you look like you could be.
Yeah.
So if I was walking down the road, I saw you coming, I would say hello, because I wouldn't want to be.
The thing is this, that's what always people think. It's you can go online, you ask about me. It's very hard to get me in a fight. And I'm the one guy who I'll take a lot, which I shouldn't do sometimes. So if they push, and suddenly I realize, wait a minute, because they start making jokes and it goes deeper, deeper. And then suddenly I realize that they believe, he is a tough guy, but he's not really that tough. And then I stop the conversation, I go like, are you thinking I'm not tough? Is this why you're doing it? And the guy looks at me and says, don't do it, because it's going to go wrong. You're going to lose this.
Yeah.
Don't overstep your boundaries. I don't do that with you. You don't do that to me. It's very simple. So for me to get a fight, I was a bouncer in Holland. I was one of the most well-liked bouncers, because they knew that from the 10 fights, It's only one time if I'm there.
Right.
Because I'll break it up, I go over this, I break the situation down, and then already they're looking like, oh yeah, this is really stupid. I say, what are you guys drinking? You know, you're the Heineken, whatever. I give him a beer, shake hands, boom, and there was no fight. And I could do that, I had good people skills. So everybody wanted me as their bouncer because there were no fights. If I'm standing at the door, people go, hey boss, all night long I'm shaking hands at people because, you know, I'm just a people person. But they also know that if something happens, you know, if a real guy hit an ashtray in a girl's face, you know, yeah, now I'm going to make sure everybody will see what I'm doing. And I'll make it as destructive as possible, headbutts, you know, like very scary stuff that all the people who are seeing it go like, I don't want to fight that guy, you know. But that happened not a lot.
You know how a lot of why you're married, you know how women love to get on your nerves and make you angry and mess with you. Is your wife afraid to do that with you?
Oh no, my wife controls me if she wants, but she is the perfect wife for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no,
but she could control you?
Oh no, it is the yin and yang, you know, that's with us, literally. I'm that guy and she's calming me down the whole time, you know. She's really the rock in my thing. It's really amazing. We never fight, there's no fighting in our home. It's a very calm house. And it goes from my parents. I never see my parents fight, not once, ever. So.
Your wife is from Holland as well?
From Holland as well, yeah. We're 27 years together.
Really? Oh, you've been married for 27 years?
Yeah.
And so you believe in God?
Oh, yes.
And what is it to believe in God? What is that like?
Oh, well, you just look around. You look around you. If these people come to me, they say, oh, these guys are stupid. They think we were created. And I go like, I think you're the idiot. If you think this all came from one cell, well, I'm laughing at you. It is the dumbest thing ever. Yeah, now they're backtracking. Now it's suddenly 112 cells or 256. What, we're megabytes we're doing this now? Is it 256, 512? I mean, it makes no sense. Every time they come up with something new, nobody knows.
Right.
What I do know is that I remember the way I got back into the faith was really, I remember one instance from my childhood, very vivid, in class. And I was staring outside the window. And I was looking at a tree, but they didn't know. And I heard everybody was talking, and the teacher was, the people were laughing, and then suddenly, and I go, what? And he goes, what are you doing? I go, I'm looking at that tree. And he goes, what about that tree? I said, how did it get there? He said, they planted it there, stupid. I said, no, that's not what I mean. Where do trees come from? If you go all the way back. Now, 5 years ago, I was sitting in on a talk from a Catholic person who was talking, and the way he explained there was a God, the leaf fell from the tree. And the leaf falls on the ground, that's the end destination. Now let's start backtracking that leaf. Go back to the branch and then the tree before. And I go, because once he did that the flash came back it was like God planted the seed in me when I was 10 years old. It was the 4th grade when this thing happened. Why would I remember that so vivid and then suddenly that person come? Now, you also have to understand, I've been attacked by a ghost, like 6, 7 times in the house, very scary.
You were attacked by a ghost?
Oh yeah.
What happened?
Oh, they in my sleep, and I know people go with sleep paralysis, paralysis, yeah, paralysis, yeah. In Holland you say paralysis, we have a different way of pronouncing it. Completely pushed in the bed, not able to move, not able to dig, a very bad presence, completely incapacitating me.
Oh yeah,
and the only way I could get out was to get mentally very aggressive, and suddenly I would get out and I would scream. And, you know, I used language at the time, I don't do this now. But then, and then I would wake up. But I mean, my kids seen her, it was a woman. I was one day, I came in the house and with my family around 9 o'clock, and I told them, I said, wait, there's somebody in the house. I truly believe somebody was in the house. And there was how do I explain that? There was 2 rooms, a kitchen there, dining room there, and in the back is the kitchen. And it was separated by a wall. And in the dining room, you had a doorpost with a thick curtain instead of a door. And I figured the guy was in the kitchen. So I acted like on this side of the wall I was knocking, and suddenly, because I wanted to let him come here, and I make a U-turn and catch him, right? So I start sprinting the other way, and the curtain flies up against the ceiling, so I keep running. There's a person in the house. The curtain didn't move, I always say. It flew up against the ceiling, but there was nobody in the house.
Wow.
You know, and everything was closed. So that all, it was very intense.
Did that make you want to move out?
Oh yeah, it wanted me to move out. And then we went to the next house, and my daughter wakes up, she sleeps in the attic because it's the biggest place, and she goes, and the next day I say, how was your night? She goes, it's great, you know, I had some visits from 2 boys and 2 girls. And I go, excuse me, but she's very open to this. I go, what? I say, what do you mean? How old? They say, 17, 18 years old. You're not freaking out. He says, no, they were nice. Yeah, one kept playing. He was bouncing on the bed the whole time. He kept on playing. I go, dude, this is so weird. So I go online, and I said, if there ever an accident happened with kids, the first link, click on the link. And I was reading 4 kids, 2 boys, 2 girls, 17 and 8 years old, with a car drove through our wall. So I'm walking outside, and I see the walls completely repaired. It was right next to our home.
Wow.
So
That's
she was
amazing.
on everything. 2 boys, 2 girls, 17, 18 years old. It was the craziest thing.
I remember when I had anger, I was sleeping one night, and a dark black witch-like thing came through the wall of my house, right, in my room. It reminded me of the Wicked Witch of the West. You know who that is?
Yeah.
Maxine Waters?
Yeah.
With the
But in
low
character,
IQ.
right? Not like that.
It looked just like Maxine. And it tried to hold me down in the bed, and I was trying to get up, and it wouldn't let me up. And
Yeah.
finally, I said, "Help me, Jesus!"
And that's
then
it.
it went away.
Yeah, I wish I would have known that at the time. I didn't do it.
Yeah.
What I did do, I challenged it. Because there was a chandelier, where the curtain flew up, there was the dining room, there was a big chandelier, it was always cold there, and a weird smell. And that's where I stood, and somehow I knew it was 3 a.m., which I didn't know, and people at home don't know. Jesus passed away at 3 p.m., so at 3 a.m. the bad activity is at its worst.
Yeah.
But somehow I knew that, which I didn't, and I just challenged them for 45 minutes. Hey, listen, you're
Amazing.
sucker punching me. Why don't you do it like this? Bring it down to the earth level, right? Let's not, because otherwise I can't win.
That's
And let's see who's the
amazing.
toughest one, yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh, listen, I know one of the biggest exorcists on the planet, and he looks at me and goes, only you, boss, you should have never done, but hey, it worked for you.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
yeah.